So in the last three theory classes, we learnt about a three-phase circuit. So in today's tutorial, we'll take on some problems based on three-phase circuits. So the first problem is a 400 volt three-phase supply is connected across a balanced load of 3 impedance, each consisting of an 32 ohm resistance and 24 inductive resistance in series. Determine the current drawn from the power mains if the 3 impedances and source are Y connected. Now the source is Y connected for the first case, and the load is also Y connected. When we write in this manner 400 volt in a 3-phase, it means this is the line voltage and not the phase voltage. So you got to remember that. Okay, if it is a phase voltage, then it will be specified that it is a phase voltage. As long as it is not specified that it's a phase voltage, it will be if it is given in this manner, you have got to take it as a line voltage. Okay, so now you have 32 ohms resistance and 24 ohm inductive reactance in series. Okay, so we need to determine the impedances. We need to find out the current in two cases, Y connected and delta connected. So first we'll take the Y connection. Okay, if you so the impedance, first Z, we need to compute Z, the total impedance because of the resistance as well as the inductance together. So 32 ohms pure resistance and 24 ohms excuse me, inductance. So we write it as 32 plus J24. Okay, so that's why because it's an inductor, we write an J. Okay, so the magnitude will be root of R square plus X square, which comes to be 40 ohm. So if it is a Y connection, we know that the current will be phase voltage divided by Z. So we need to find out the phase voltage in case of an Y connection, right? That we had seen in our theory classes. The current in an Y connection will be the phase voltage will be applied across in the Y connection or the star connection. It is the phase voltage which will be available across each of these arms, okay, of the 3 arms. So we have to find out the phase voltage. Now to find out the phase voltage, the formula which we require to use is VL, line voltage, divided by root 3. So 400 divided by root 3, and then to compute the phase current, it will be divided by Z, which is an 40. So it gives an this is 40 which we got here, 10 by root 3 ampere. Okay, now to compute the line current, again the line current in a Y connection will be it is the same. Okay, whereas in a delta it is not the same. For a Y connected source and load, the line current is equal to phase current, so you get the same. Okay, but remember, in this particular problem, we have not we have not been asked to find out the phase, so we are only computing the magnitude. But otherwise, this current will not be in phase with the applied voltage, because there is an reactance also available. So in case you need to find out what is the phase difference, so we can use this cos theta is equal to R divided by Z. Okay, so so by that much angle, the line current or the phase current will lag from the phase voltage or the line voltage, right? It will lag because it is an inductive load which is there. Now coming to the delta connection, again in the delta connection we know that the phase voltage and the line voltage is same, because there is no neutral line which is coming across each arms of the delta connection. The entire phase voltage will be the entire line voltage will be available across the each of those phases. So line voltage and phase voltages are equal. Okay, you can just refer to your theory class notes. So you get 400 volts. Now to compute the phase currents, we have V phase divided by Z, which is nothing but V line divided by the Z. You get 10 amperes, and now the current will be root 3 times the phase current. Okay, in here in a Y connection, the line current and the phase currents are equal, whereas here if you see the line current and the phase current, there will be an root 3 factor coming up. So you have root 3 into 10, 17.3. So if you see the current, if you have the same kind of loads and the same voltages being applied to a Y connected load or a delta connected load, the current actually goes up by a factor of 3. Okay, see, if you see, the current here is 5.38, right, because here because it is the entire line voltage which is available, that is why 1 root 3 factor goes up, and then again the line voltage itself is root 3 times the phase voltage. So, if you see the current for an Y connection and delta connection, it is almost in a 3. So, wherever you have 3 phase motors where you require a high torque, so there delta connected motors will be used. Okay, where a small torque is required, there you can use Y connected. So obviously more, if the more current is being pumped into the motor, it will generate that much more energy for rotation, right. So that is the difference between these two types of connections. Now if I take one more example.
So for both the A and B, we were using Y connection, sir, as a source.
Actually, a source could be Y connection or delta connection, it won't make any difference, because when I am saying the delta, so you don't have to get confused. When I say that it is an delta connected load, then obviously only 3 lines will be connected, correct. The load is delta connected, there are only 3 lines available, so they will get connected automatically. The source will act like a delta connection in this case. Okay. The line voltages will be available, right.
Okay, sir.
Okay, line voltages will be available. Okay. Now the next question, a balanced delta connected load having an impedance is so you find it's negative, that means a capacitive, the net is a capacitive load, a resistance and a capacitance is in series here, you can see, is connected to a delta connected positive sequence generator having VAB 330. See the wordings out here is positive sequence generator having AB. Okay, so AB is not AN, right. So that means again this is also an phase line voltage. Okay, it's not an phase voltage. Okay, if it is AN, if it is given like AN, then you can assume that is going to be an phase voltage. The moment it is written AB, and ABC sequence is there, so you will have AB means it's a line voltage. Okay, so it's again it's written it's delta connected load. So Z is given as 20 minus J, so so the magnitude will be 25 in this case, and VAB, and this is going to be the phase here. So yeah, VAB is given here. So now I have to find out the current, and again since it's delta connected, the entire line voltage will be available across Z. So VAB divided by Z. Okay. So VAB we have taken reference as 0 here. Okay. So that becomes 0 here, and you divide by this. So you will find that this is. Now we are in this particular problem, we are also taking into account the phase lag. So the current will be lagging the voltage by 36.87. Okay, here, right. So it will be leading. Okay, so since there is no negative, that means it is leading. So that it is a capacitive load, that's why it is leading here. So you don't have to compute BC and CA. Okay, because the amplitudes will be the same, right. Only difference which it's going to make is the phase. So 36 minus 120, you will get minus 83.13, and then 36 plus 120 is 156.87. So you can straight away write these answers rather than again doing the computation. Okay, so these are the 3 phase currents. Okay, is it understood? Okay, so let's move forward, and now if I have to find out the line currents. Okay, from the phase currents, when I have to find out the line currents, the formula which will be used will be IAB root 3 times, it will be root 3 times. Okay, line current. Okay, whereas and then there will be a minus 30 degree out here. Whereas if when we find out the phase voltage, okay, from the line voltage and phase voltage relation, we will see that the it is going to be plus 30 here. So for the current it is minus 30, for the voltage it is the so this is so if I do into root 3, So I put a minus 30 out here, and I get the line currents. Okay, so all the three line currents. Okay, here A B is the phase current, because we have this phase voltage was available across each of the arms, and we have divided it by the impedance. So this what we are got is the phase currents. Now from phase currents to line currents, okay, it is root 3 times the phase current and minus 30, right? For the remember that for when we compute the voltages, line voltages from the phase voltages, it is plus 30. Here it is going to be minus 30. If you refer to your theoretical notes, you will understand this aspect. Okay, so you find out the one phase current, and the next two phase currents will be minus 120 from here and plus 120 from here. So these are the two line currents which we get. Okay, so we'll take one more problem. A balanced positive sequence Y connected source with VAN. Okay, now see, it is clearly specified. It is VAN, that means it is phase voltage and not the line voltage. Okay, so 100 into 10. Okay, so again as a reference, 10 is already given there. Okay, it is some reference they have given. It could be 0, they have put it as 10. So we need to with respect to some time, okay, they have taken. So that is not 0 in this case, it is 10 is connected to a delta connected balanced load. So this is the balanced load of delta connection. Okay, now we need to find out the phase currents of the load and the line currents. Okay, phase currents and the line currents both have to be found. So Vn is this, balanced load is this. Now phase current will be on a since it is in a it is AB, right? Because it is the load is connected in delta, we need to find out the line voltage. Okay, because in delta connection, line voltage will be available across each of the arms of the delta. So that is why we find VAB, which is root 3 AN 30. So already 10 is there in the question itself. Okay, in the source, so this becomes 40, and root 3 AN is root 3 into 100, so 173.2. So is it clear how did we compute the line voltage, Gagan, Kaneshwar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now, so always remember, when it is delta, we need to first find out the line voltage, and if it is a star, it is the phase voltage which comes across the load. Okay, so since it is delta, we are finding out the line voltage and dividing it by this. So we are getting the this is going to be the phase current, and when we are dividing, in both the cases we will get first the phase current. In Y, the phase current is going to be same as the line current. In delta, the line current is going to be root 3 times of that. So we get the phase currents here. So all then the same magnitude follows here, only the phase changes. And to find out the line currents, we multiplied by root 3, and also an insert of minus 30 degree phase lag also. So so this was explained in the theory class, right? So you get the three. So this is how you compute the three line currents, and these are the phase currents. Okay. So we take on one more example. Now a supply voltage is 220 volt per phase. Again, see, it is specified here, it is phase voltage. Yeah, and we will use this AN as reference. Okay, the supply is balanced and the load is also balanced with an impedance of 2 minus 6J. So you minus 6J means obviously there is a capacitor, and so and resistance and an inductor is there. We will determine the currents in each phase and total power. Okay, now we are going to compute the power also. Since it is now YY connection, so the phase voltages will be 220, and here it's not specified that there will be any phase lag, so we assume it to be 0. So Bn is minus 120, and then Cn. An means A with respect to neutral, Bn means B with respect to neutral, and C means C with respect to neutral. So these are the three phase voltages. Now we compute the phase currents. Okay, that is divided by the impedance. So we just compute one value. So 220 divided by this. Okay, so you get the it is comma. I think it should be comma is an actually decimal. Okay, so it's written like this. Okay, 34 point. Okay, so this is the current which we get. So Bn and Bn and Cn is only just an you have 120-degree phase shift from here. Okay, now to compute the power, we can use, since we have already computed the phase voltage and phase currents, it is 3 V phase I phase cos theta, or the other formula which is available is √3 into V line into I line into cos theta. Since we have computed the phase currents, we will use the phase current. And where to get this cos theta from? Since this impedance is given, cos minus 6 and this right, 2 divided by cos theta is equal to 2 divided by 6 point z is 6.325, right, here in this case. So from there we get the value of the cos theta. So you use this formula to obtain the power out here. Okay, so this is how. So this once you understand this star delta configuration, things will be pretty easy. 1 or 2 things only to remember. Okay. Now the next problem is the input power to a 3-phase AC motor is measured as 5 kilowatt. Okay, so that motor is consuming 5 kilowatt of power. If the voltage and current to the motor are 400 volt and 6.8 amperes. Okay, so when it is given like this, we have to assume that this is the line voltage and the line current. Okay, not the phase voltage and phase current. So as long as it is not specified clearly it is phase, we will assume it is, we have to assume that it is line voltage and line current. Determine the power factor. So power is 500 watt, line voltage is 400, and the line current is 6.8. So don't make a mistake of writing P is equal to VI cos phi, because it is a 3-phase system. So the formula is slightly different here. P is equal to √3 times VL IL cos phi. Okay, so with this, since P is given, VL IL is given, we can compute cos phi, which is the power factor. Okay, so only care you need to take care is okay, in exam under pressure, don't use the formula P is equal to VI cos phi. Okay, so it is √3 VL cos phi, or if phase voltages and line currents are given, then it will be 3 times phase voltage phase current cos phi. Okay, so that is the difference out here. Okay, so there is one more problem on wattmeters. 2 wattmeters are connected to measure the input power to a balanced 3-phase load by 2 wattmeter method. If the instrument readings are 8 kilowatt and 4 kilowatt, determine the total power and the load power factor. Okay, so these are the 2 formulas which we derived in the class. The total power will be just P1 plus P2, so 8 plus 4 12. Okay, if it is given it is minus 4 kilowatt, for example, then you have to do 8 minus 4. Okay, because there could be some energy oscillation. So in that case, if it is negative, if it is given negative in the question, it could be 8 minus 4. That we saw in the theory class also. It is possible that in fact in the theory class, in that example, I had put a value of negative there. Okay, so so you have to be careful. So if it is given in negative, just do an algebraic sum. Okay, so the total net power will be accordingly get changed. Okay, so 8 plus 4, it is 12 kilowatt. And also we did this derivation also in the class, where tan phi is equal to √3 times P1 minus P2 divided by P1 plus P2. So if you put these values there, you will get the value of phi, and then take tan inverse of that, you will get the angle, and then cos of that will give the power factor. Okay, so power, when I say power factor, it is not phi, remember it is cos phi. Okay, so if in a multiple choice there is an answer 30 and there is an answer 0.866 and we are looking for power factor in the question, then the correct answer will be 0.866 and not 30. Okay, so this is the phase angle. Okay, it is not the power factor. Power factor is always 30 cos of the phase angle. Okay, between the voltage and the current. So we'll take one more problem. So 3 identical coils, each of resistance 10 ohms and inductance 42 are connected in star and delta. First, in the first case in star and delta, to an 415 volt 50 hertz supply. Determine the total power. Okay. So let's first compute, since inductor is 42, let's come, and the frequency is given as 50 hertz. We need to compute XL. So 2 pi f L. So you 2 pi f is 50 hertz and L is given as this is 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay, it's appearing as 10 minus 3. It's 10 to the power of minus 3. So you get 13.9. Okay, so the phase impedance will be root of I think this R square plus XL square is missing out here. So I'll do the amendment accordingly. Okay, so it will you will get it as 16.55. Okay, 13.9 square plus 10 square root. So you will get an 16.55. Okay, now the line voltage is given as an 415 volt. This is the line voltage, right? So phase voltage will be root 3 times, because now we are talking about a star connection, so we need to find out the phase voltage. So divided by root 3, so I get a 240 volt. Okay, so this is the supply voltage which is generally available at our homes. Okay, so the phase current will be V phase by Z phase, so you get a 14.5. Okay, so line current will be same as the phase current, and then power factor is Rp divided by Zp cos phi. So we know how to obtain the, and then power dissipated is root 3 times VL IL cos phi. So this is the formula, straightforward formula, which we can use to compute the power. Okay, so similarly we can do it for delta. The only difference here will be once we are we compute the phase current here by dividing the phase voltage by the impedance, but the phase voltage here in this case is the line voltage. Okay, so instead of 240, we need to divide it by 415 to get the phase currents. And once you get the phase currents, the line current will also be root 3 times the phase current. So you will get 43.44. So if you see here, the current is the current was 14 point. So 3 times the current will be available here, right? So now 3 times the current is available here. So now the power dissipated will be root 3 times VL IL and cos phi. So these things remains the same. So you get an 18.87 kilowatt. If I compare it with here, you will see the power is also 3 times from here. From the star, when I come to delta, the power is almost 3 times. Okay, so you just have to, these are so the very simple concepts. If you keep it in mind, you will not go wrong in your exams. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks a lot.